Recently, there has been a falling away of deeper desires. It seems I've known what I really wanted throughout most of my life, but lately it feels more like, yes, it would be nice to have that, but nothing is going to be the thing that makes everything okay. So there's much less resistance now, but the direction is still fuzzy when it comes to what I truly want. I have goals, but it feels more like I'm here now, and that's it. Am I in denial of something deeper that I want?
To me, it sounds a lot like what the introduction to the meditation was about. I don't know if that resonated with you, but because there is a period of transition. Imagine, if you live X amount of decades with a certain kind of worldview and what the point of life is and how things are gonna kind of work out. What's the strategy for the best way of living? All of that's developed from very young, and we pretty much maintain that paradigm for several decades, most people forever. But when that starts to, I use the word drop, the dropping, I think I was saying the dropping of the effort or the doing that creates that sense of something's missing here and this other thing is better, which is exactly what you're talking about. When we start to have the disillusion, I think that's the word in English. In Spanish, it's like the ending of an illusion. Um, it sounds bad, right? You're disappointed, you're disillusioned, but it's actually the ending of an illusion. So it's the seeing clearly, but the seeing clearly isn't. It can happen instantaneously, but still, a lot has to happen for the new to come through, and it's not up to you to do that, because part of what is seen, and the more it's seen, is that the heart of it is the illusion of what I thought I was. So that's what really starts to fall away, is that illusion. And so what you're describing is what the person you thought you were, who had these ideas and these desires, is starting to kind of fall apart in a sense, start to be seen as that's not that real. It's not pulling its weight. It's not having its intensity. It's not having, um, and so all of that's going to be confusing. It's like suddenly you're put on a different planet. But it's even more confusing because at least in that situation you would know I'm on a different planet. This is different. Now I have to deal with this new thing. But what's happening to you and what happens to most people in this process, it's kind of a slow, gradual thing. There's a level where the change is slow and gradual, even for people who have very sudden awakening. There still is a process which is the old paradigms are still activated. The old mechanisms are still happening in the body and the mind, but it starts to be seen as that's not that real. And you might interpret it differently, like how you're saying it's it's no longer that interesting, for example. It's no longer having its pull, or the desire isn't there anymore. But what's happening is you're seeing through that kind of hologram of you that seemed to be so real, that it was such a big deal, and everything revolved around that. And you start to see it's kind of a hologram of me and desires and what life is, where it should go, and what's going to work and what's not. So if you adopt the kind of strategy of like, well, this is changing, I need to figure this one out, now I need to find what I really want, and it's you're back into the same thing. And so what's the thing to notice is, yes, I can confirm most likely you're in this transition period. um, Everything seems to point to that being kind of a no-brainer um, explanation. But then look at, why is what's happening now a problem? Which you weren't saying it was, but there's something there that's bringing up this wonder, like, is there something that I'm not doing or I should do, or the desire, is it there or not? And do I need to find what I really want, what my heart longs for? That's just more of stuff happening.
When you talk about the merging of this process with the heart's desire, doing what you really, really want, how does that fit with this particular stage I'm in? Because that made more sense before what I'm going through now.
Yeah, the thing about you have to empty the cup. Cheers, but you have to empty it before it can be filled again. You're in the process of emptying. And so the deeper desire is let's call that the new that comes after the emptying. It's always an important pointer, I think, to look at what we really want. But there's periods and transitions where just be patient. Because, for example, what you could want right now is to not want anything and wait, for example. So we say, what is it that you really want? It's whatever you want now, and that could be not much. Mm-hmm. So with a discernment of like, am I dropping responsibilities? Am I self-sabotaging my life? Am I dysfunctional? Which doesn't look like it. So you're not getting in the way. It's just, that's just dropping.
Yeah, it's like emptiness. It's like all really empty right now. There are small desires like, I want a cup of coffee, etc. But there isn't this frantic, I need to get there.
Yeah, but that's, that frantic I need to get there is not it. And many times when I talk about what is it, when I say, what does the universe as you want right now? And many times I give as an example to sip that cup of coffee. It's not necessarily, I want to build a thing that's this huge business or whatever. It could be literally, my deepest, let's say, longing is to savor the moment of whatever it is I'm doing. So if I'm playing the piano, the sensations in the fingers. If I'm creating a business, it's the dance and the play of that kind of push. But it's the actual experience in the moment of that. So even if there's a vision and there's a project and something being created, the thing that's the best thing about it is the taste of the experience of that movement. It's not about when will it happen so that I can get there, so that I have the thing that I'm.
That's a great clarification for me, because I've always thought of it as a big thing like my heart wants to build a business or get married and have children. But it can also be as simple as my heart wants to be totally present right now.
Yeah, and I would say, because it could be, let's say it is to get married and have kids, but it's not about getting to the point where you're married and you have kids. It's the wanting of that and the journeying with that love for that. You could call it a desire, but it's the love of the journey of getting married and having kids, for example. Where is that love? When can it be tasted and savored? When you get married and have kids? No, right now. And so, even if I put an example like the most mundane, it's like a business, creating a business. But if you think there's only value in having the business succeed, and only when I get to the success stage of that business will I really have what I want, no. Because the love of creating that puts me, for example, in a process, in a movement, in a journey that I can savor. Then if the business works or not, it's less important. And so with everything, if you want a cup of coffee, if you want to make it, for example, the whole process of the anticipation of opening the bag of coffee beans, and the smell and grinding the beans, and that whole process can be as delicious as the cup of coffee. Or if you go to a cafe instead, the process of walking to the cafe, talking to the barista, anticipating it, comparing it to the one from yesterday. Did you like it as much or not? And the savoring of the coffee. It's not about the moment of getting the coffee.
It makes so much sense when you say it that way. I guess there's always been such an emphasis on the end goal, but you're right, it's the process that truly matters.
Yeah, it's the thing is that it's both, because that's where if we use language and we talk about time, now we have what the mind can turn into a duality. So there's the appearance that it appears as if it's one or the other. It's either you're here with whatever this is, but you can't want anything that's not here. And if you want what's not here, this has to not be okay, and it's not true. This is the case where you can have the cake and eat it. What's the expression? You're gonna want the cake, have the cake. Yeah. So because you can follow the love instead of calling it desire, because desire, I would say, is coming from the sense of something's missing. And so if I kind of use some definitions where I define desire as the wanting of something that's not here, so something that's missing, versus the love of the creativity of life, which is when I say, what does the universe want? It has more to do with the creativity, with the love, than the sense of something missing.
So it includes both the goal and the process.
Yeah, it's the goal. It's like the vision is the goal. Is the vision of when I imagine getting married and having kids, I have this like really lovely, tingly, expansive sense of like what a beautiful thing that would be. And it's not, if it's not coming from, I need that to be okay. This life is not okay as it is right now. But when I have that, I will be okay. That's problematic. But if it's coming from life is beautiful, this is beautiful, this is okay, and there is this tingly, beautiful, loving sense when I imagine a future with kids. Now that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about, of the love of what could be as a creative process. So that's like, what do you want? What do you as universe want? It's like, what does the artist want to paint? What does the creator want to create? It's not so much like, oh, there's an empty canvas, this sucks, I need to fill it so that it's okay. It helped me actually clarify something for myself, like how to talk about it in a more clear way. Actually, I think that helped for myself to see how to talk about it. So thank you.
I resonate deeply with just being in the present, but I can also envision the love of something else without feeling like anything is missing. It's more like, that would be beautiful to have while still feeling love for what's here now.
Yeah, and you can assume that if there's something that's missing and the desiring of something has to do with something missing, and obviously we're not talking about like food, we're talking about something that's more of a psychological need, and the problem is like soothing the sense of something missing with that other, then that's what I would call the kind of negative desiring that, for example, Buddhism talks about. But if you're not there, and there is now this openness and this kind of love and beauty for what is right now, then you can include the imagination and the vision of what could be created, and that you could consider it as like part of divinity, part of what if. That's why when I say, what does the universe as you want, or you as the universe, or the universe through you, is all these kind of metaphors for the vision, the love, the desire is of a very big scale. It's divinity, it's universal, but it's being experienced, felt, created through you, through the part of you that is a perspective that's unique, that's